You're on. Pick at your nose and everything.
I ain't picking my nose. I was scratching my nose. Picking my nose.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hi everyone. I am here with a Bible reading. I hope you guys are having a good day. Your back hurting? Or take your medicine, babe. Are you guys having a good day? Did you get to see fireworks this 4th of July? We didn't have fireworks here this year. They were canceled. But some of my family got to see fireworks in another town close by. We had Jimmy for a few days. He doesn't like fireworks. He's never liked fireworks. Ever since he was a baby, he's always hated fireworks. He's never liked loud noises like that. But we had Jimmy for a few days and we had a really good time. All of us together, we always do. He went home today, which is really sad. We're going to miss him. And it's going to storm. Our lights have been flickering and it's thundering outside really bad. Didn't know it was supposed to storm today. If you can hear the thunder, you might actually see our lights flickering. They're not flickering right now, but if you do, you'll see them. They flicker every day regardless. And it's really, really hot outside. Yesterday it was 97 here. And today it's even hotter, I was told. Okay, guys. So today we're going to be reading Acts chapter 25, Psalm 5, and Proverbs chapter 18, verse 19. Okay. And we'll be in the King James Version. So let's get started with the book of Acts. Now when Festus was come into the province after 3 days, he ascended from Caesarea to Jerusalem. Then the high priest and the chief of the Jews informed him against Paul, and besought him, and desired favor against him, that he would send for him to Jerusalem, laying wait the way to kill him. But Festus answered, that Paul should be kept at Caesarea, and that he himself would depart shortly hither. Let them therefore, said he, which among you are able, go down with me, and accuse this man, if there be any wickedness in him. And when he had tarried among them more than 10 days, he went down unto Caesarea, and the next day, sitting on the judgment seat, commanded Paul to be brought. And when he was come, the Jews which came down from Jerusalem stood round about, and laid many and grievous complaints against Paul, which they could not prove. While he answered for himself, neither against the law of the Jews, neither against the temple, nor yet against Caesar, have I offended anything at all. But Festus, willing to do the Jews a pleasure, answered Paul and said, Wilt thou go up to Jerusalem, and there be judged of these things before me? Then said Paul, I stand at Caesar's judgment seat, where I ought to be judged. To the Jews have I done no wrong, as thou very well knowest. For if I be an offender, now listen to this. Remember, Paul has been wanting to go to Rome to preach the word of God. Now you know God's going to get him there one way or another. Okay? And when he was come, the Jews which came down from Jerusalem stood round about, and while he answered for himself, neither against the law of the Jews, neither against the temple, nor yet against Caesar have I offended anything at all. But Festus, willing to do the Jews a pleasure, answered Paul and said, Wilt thou go up to Jerusalem, and there be judged of these things before me? Then said Paul, I stand at Caesar's judgment seat, where I ought to be judged. To the Jews have I done no wrong, as thou very well knowest. For if I be an offender, or have committed anything worthy of death, I refuse not to die. But if there be none of these things whereof these accuse me, no man may deliver me unto them. I appeal unto Caesar, who was in Rome. Then Festus, when he had conferred with the council, answered, Hast thou appealed unto Caesar? Unto Caesar shalt thou go. And after certain days, King Agrippa and Bernice came unto Caesarea to salute Festus. And when they had been there many days, Festus declared Paul's cause unto the king, saying, There is a certain man left in bonds by Felix, about whom, when I was at Jerusalem, the chief priests and the elders of the Jews informed me, desiring to have judgment against him. To whom I answered, It is not the manner of the Romans to deliver any man to die, before that he which is accused have the accusers face to face, and have license to answer for himself concerning the crime laid against him. Therefore, when they were come hither, without any delay on the morrow, I sat on the judgment seat and commanded the man to be brought forth, against whom, when the accusers stood up, they brought none accusation of such things as I supposed, but had certain questions against him of their own superstition, and of one Jesus which was dead, whom Paul affirmed to be alive. And because I doubted of such manner of questions, I asked him whether he would go to Jerusalem, and there he judged of these matters. But when Paul had appealed to be reserved unto the hearing of Augustus, I commanded him to be kept till I might send him to Caesar. Then Agrippa said unto Festus, I would also hear the man myself. Tomorrow, said he, thou shalt hear him. And on the morrow, when Agrippa was come, and Bernice, with great pomp, and was entered into the place of hearing with the chief captains and principal men of the city, at Festus' commandment Paul was brought forth. And Festus said, King Agrippa, and all men which are here present with us, ye see this man, about whom all the multitude of the Jews have dealt with me, both at Jerusalem and also here, crying that he ought not to live any longer. But when I found that he had committed nothing worthy of death, and that he himself hath appealed to Augustus, I have determined to send him, of whom I have no certain thing to write unto my Lord. Wherefore I have brought him forth before you, and specially before thee, O King Agrippa, that after examination had I might have somewhat to write. For it seemeth to me unreasonable to send a prisoner, and not withal to signify the crimes laid against him. It's like, I'm going to send this prisoner all the way to Rome to Caesar, but don't have no reason to send him there as to what charges. So please give me a charge. Please find a fault with him to give me to tell Caesar as to why I'm sending him there, King Agrippa, because I could not find one. And the people that sent him to me could not give me one. So that's where we're going to stop with the book of Acts today. And now our psalm is Psalm 5. It has 12 verses. All right. Give ear to my words, O Lord. Consider my meditation. Hearken unto the voice of my cry, my King and my God. For unto thee will I pray. My voice shalt thou hear in the morning, O Lord. In the morning will I direct my prayer unto thee, and will look up. For thou art not a God that hath pleasure in wickedness, neither shall thou evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. The Lord will adore the bloody and deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into thy house in the multitude of thy mercy, and in thy fear will I worship toward thy holy temple. Lead me, O Lord, in thy righteousness because of mine enemies. Make thy way straight before thy face. For there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is very wickedness. Their throat is an open sepulchre. They falter with their tongue. Destroy thou them, O God. Let them fall by their own counsels. Cast them out in the multitude of their transgressions, for they have rebelled against thee. But let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy, because thou defendest them. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. For thou, Lord, wilt bless the righteous. With favor wilt thou compass him as with a shield. And that was Psalm 5. And now, ending today's Bible reading is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 19. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city, and their contentions are like the bars of a castle. So very true. All right, guys, that was our Bible reading for today. I hope it touched your hearts. Our prayer request for today. Please continue to pray for Matthew and his family. For they had the death in their family of the little baby that passed away. I think her name was Arya. So, I'm not really sure. I think it was Arya. Her name. Please keep Bridget Bulks and her family in your prayers. April Thacker and her family in your prayers. Sherman Crabtree, Michelle Watkins and Andrew. Layla and her son Emil. Cindy and Jim Welsh. Rhonda Karshner. Abby Myers. Matthew Simpson. Jimmy Myers. Dora Carper. Norman Karshner. Pat Dempsey. Melody Stanley. Eric Stanley. Randy Post. Garnet Boyer. Jim Mitchell. Elizabeth Jeffries. Ray Dunlap. Tabitha Clary. Judy Thompson, and Henry Ruffett. Alright guys, that was everything for today for our Bible reading. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and God willing, we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible reading. Bye guys. God bless.